Hello and welcome back to Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition with me, Bardon, the Nameless One, Dakon, Anna, Mort, and Ignis. Oh, and Mertwin, the Headless as well. Okay, so...
What's the hold
well,
up?
if you'd shut up, you'd know. So what we want to do is we want to explore in here a bit more. So I'm going to check if there's anyone that I can talk to that I haven't met before. Let's open this door. And when that door always closes, it's weird. So let's go through each room. Gillis the Crooked. Okay, let's talk to you. This squat, hunched old man still has broad shoulders, scarred and calloused hands of a worker or warrior. An aura of weary despair seems to hang about him. He appears to be giving a lecture at the moment. Let's stay for the lecture. Right, now, listen up. This is the seminar on the war. If you're here to listen about the blood war, take root. If you're not, you're in the wrong all, and you'd best yourself soft. Comfort-loving Sigilian limber stems out of here. The blood war? More boring than listen. Let's try and get Mort's voice. The blood war? More boring than listen to. That's not it. This happens to me so often, I forget people's voices. Let's see if I can remember. So normally what the phrase that gets me is, Hey Chief! Hey Chief! The blood war? More boring than listen to a governor recite laws. Let's find some young sensates who need to be indoctrinated in the ways of passion. He waggles eyebrows in anticipation. So that definitely wasn't Mort's voice. No, Mort, I want to hear this. The man suddenly throws a dark eye over the audience as if looking for something. And further, if your Tanari are Batse-zu, your scaly eyes out the door. I's not letting ye ornery bastards bend an ear to this and then listen to your barmy arguments. Let's keep listening. Because this is no discussion on who's right. Behind you hear the sounds of something large leaving the lecture hall. It just tells the blood war from the human point of view. I's not promoting one side or another, because they both stink in different ways. The speaker becomes somber. So, what's left of you wanting to listen to some blood war stories? Tales about the war? Ear to ear, the horror of it all, no doubt. The floating fortresses wove and weave a human skin, the plains-wide battlegrounds, the blood war we fought in. He bares his yellow teeth. Tales of fiends locking fangs with other fiends. Grrr, snarl. His snarl fades and he looks suddenly bored. Well, let me peel back your lids and crack your bone box. 'Tis all a steaming heap of barmy nonsense, to be dwelling on that forged dung. He spits in derision, rolling his eyes widely. I'll tell you this though, you can't imagine the scale the blood wars fought on. Nothing you've seen, heard or participated in. Nothing compares time, numbers of legions, sheer bloodshed. Nothing compares, Burks. To try and imagine it, forget it. My advice is simple. Stay away from the big bloody mess altogether. The only thing you need to know is this. Fiends are killing fiends. Batsu are slaughtering Tanari. Tanari are butchering Batsu. Right now, he spits again. Neither's winning. Don't think either can win. Biggest stalemate this side of eternity. Thank the powers. That's it, he shrugs. That's it. I'll be answering any questions you got for me now. Let's ask a question. What's your question, Cutter? Who started the Blood War? You got a right to be curious what started this big old sodden soupy mess in the first place. What set the fiends to lock horns in the first place, biting and clawing at each other until there was only reason the only reason they were alive. Let's wait. Can't you give me a little more on the Blood War itself? If I were to boil it down, it'd be this. The Blood War has been going on damn near forever, and will keep going until damn near forever itself gets penned in the death book. The Tenari, the champions of chaos and evil, are trying to stomp the green-coloured dung out of the Batsu, the champions of law and evil. They butcher each other over how each of them thinks evil should be, if you can believe that. Ha! What do you think would happen if someone stopped the Blood War? You can't make any piking difference in the war. It's too sodden big. You're a stone, a pebble in an ocean. That's a pebble in another ocean, which is a pebble in another ocean, and so on and so forth, till the stench nose come as a pebble. Your goal is to be not noticed and sink to the bottom with the rest of the dregs. Go on. If you could make a difference, which you can't, you shouldn't try, because then the planes would tumble one down. The planes would tumble down? Why? He holds up his hands like pillars. The Blood War is like a big bloody support beam propping up the planes. Kick it down and a lot of the planes come tumbling down with it. A lot of baggage rests on the back of the war. He suddenly brays like a donkey, laughing bitterly. The biggest, nastiest pack of animals on the plane. Go on. He grins cynically. Besides, as some say, war is great for business. He laughs hollowly, then looks as if he could suddenly cry. Hey, never you mind that. Another question. Are you alright? You seem pained. The man smiles sadly. Aye, listen, Cutter. I'm no priest, nor would I want to be. But hear this. Keep evil out of your heart. When you die with evil in your heart, your spirit falls into the lower planes, where you become a petitioner. Go on. Any guesses as to what happens then? Petitioners in the abyss and Bathor get twisted into foot soldiers and get to fight the Blood War for all eternity. He chuckles, shaking his head. So that's the dark as to why the Batsari and the Tenari try and corrupt all they touch, because they need more troops. Eat this. Keep evil from your artwork. Let me ask something else. How does one get hired into the Blood War? You know, every once in a when, some leather-headed Burke comes round asking about a job in the Blood War. They want some jink. They want a quick stint and then to get along with their lives. Mayhap I was one of those leatherheads. Mayhap I was a sellsword, and ere there was a little jink to be made in the war. Got me interested. Taught me a lesson, it did. We're like ants running around the heels of dancing sodpike gods. I saw big men who claimed to be big soldiers. He shakes his head. Paper soldiers. War's a furnace for them. Makes them wake up or burn. So how do you survive the Blood War? The man's face darkens. Well, that's the one thing I won't speak of, Cutter. Suffice to say, a man does what he has to do to escape the war. But a woman named Bischika told me you had to murder your own men to escape the war. The man's face becomes red with anger. Watch your mouth, Cutter. That's a lie. Foul, foul lie. Are you barmy, joined with a fiend over the war and believing her every word of it? That's what you told me. I didn't say I took it as the truth. I'll tell you what happened, Burke. He sighs and calms down slightly. I was part of the company of the Blazing Effigy. A part of the original numbers was 53 mortal mercenaries, though only 9 of us remain. Camped somewhere in Avernus, we were awaiting reinforcements for the next battle. Well, my tour was really done then. In fact, I was to leave after that battle. The trouble was, had I died there, I would have been theirs forever. Too much blackness, too much evil in my heart. I would have ended up a petitioner in Bathor, an eternal soldier in the war. He shudders at the thought. What happened? Me and 2 other lads fled like dogs. That's what happened. We scurried across the plains for a handful of days before we came to this great pillar. Illuminates. Excuse me. An awful sight it was. They jabbered and hissed at us, calling for us to come closer. That night I stole away from the others and went to talk to the pillar. And Jesus shuts his eyes and rubs at his temple. I asked this pillar how I might be freed, how I might escape Bathor, and it told me in exchange for the two of my brothers. He is quiet for a moment, biting on his knuckles, as if fighting back tears. To me, at the time, 'twas just Matt. Still sounds like he murdered them to me. He nods, not sure if I'll forgive myself. Now, I'm just a soldier who's looking for a place to die, trying to raise the stain of evil, cleanse my inner Jesus afore I die and return to the blood war. I lecture here to keep people away from it all, to prevent them from ever having to make a choice like that. I don't want to do that. That's not in character, I don't think. That's fine. Right, this is the last bit then. Some of ye are sensates, so I got one thing to say to you. Don't sign up to see what the Pike and Blood War is about. Don't be a barmy idiot. Use a sensory stone if you got to know. But stay the hell away from anything to do with the Blood Wars, for real. Okay, let's keep listening. 'Tis just not worth it. 'Tis, for a moment, a look of great pain crosses the man's face. It looks as if he's going to weep. Not worth it at all. That's the end of this session. So farewell. Okay, let's leave. Can we talk to him again? No, it's going to be the same lecture again. Okay. So let's leave. Okay, so I want to check these 2 rooms. So are they all just sensates? Looks like they are. Okay, so let's check this room then. Hang on, did we talk to you before? Q-Sai. This is a life-size granite statue of a gentleman standing with his arms at his side. Eyes closed, it is of excellent craftsmanship, exquisitely detailed and incredibly lifelike. So much so, in fact, that you find yourself wondering if it's really a statue at all. Let's touch the statue. You touch the statue and find that while the clothes that adorn it are of grey cloth rather than rock, the skin is as cool and hard as granite. Why would someone clothe a statue? Well, let's try strike the statue. As you make to strike the statue, its eyes flash open, and it catches your fist in an iron-hard grip. Narrowing its cold grey eyes, it speaks with a voice like 2 boulders riding together. Why would you strike? Q-Sai. Forgive me, I only meant to see if you were truly a statue. He nods, slowly frowning. You are forgiven. However, one feels you are lacking patience. Perhaps. I had some questions. The statue remains as silent as ever. Hello, my questions? There's no response. Let's wait for a response. There's no response. You get the sense that Q-Sai might be testing your patience. Let's keep on waiting. A few minutes pass and Q-Sai still fails to respond. Wait quietly for a few more moments. The statue's eyes open. He gazes at you with cold grey eyes. He speaks ponderously, with a voice like 2 boulders grinding together. Your patience is noted. Q-Sai would speak with you now. Okay. Mort rolls his eyes and makes a gaggling noise. Powers know not another bird that talks like this. I have questions about you. After a period of silence, he speaks. Ask, what is you were meditating upon when I first found you? Kusai meditates upon the Way of Stone. The Way of Stone, Kusai nods, a philosophy, a method of combat. With it, Kusai seeks to achieve invulnerability. Invulnerability? You'd be unbeatable in combat? Yes. Now, the way is not yet perfect. Kusai will make it so one day. Kusai knows this. Can you tell me what you've discovered so far? Kusai nods. No one has asked Kusai to share his knowledge of the way. Kusai shall do this now. He begins to speak at length, slowly and carefully. Let's listen and learn the Way of Stone.
Updated my journal.
After hours of listening and many questions, you come to understand what little of Kusai's Way of Stone he can teach you. In combat, you will use it to resist and deflect your enemy's blows, improving your armor class. Thanks, Kusai. I had other questions. Just when you think he hasn't heard you, he replies, Ask. I have questions about you. Who are you? I am called Kusai. What are you exactly? One is of a race called Stone Princes. Kusai is Genasi of Earth. Genasi?
Updated
He nods
my journal.
proudly. Kusai's father, an elemental creature of Earth, a Tao. Kusai's mother, a human woman of noble heritage, such as what it is to be Genasi of Earth. What do you do here? Kusai meditates. Kusai also trains others in the arts of combat. Can you train me? He looks you up and down, making a deep rumbling noise slowly. He holds up his hands and breaks off one of the fingernails with a sharp crack. Kusai would see you break this stone. He hands you the shard of living rock. Let's break the stone. With some effort, you snap the shard of rock in two. He takes the stones from you and places them in his mouth, chewing them to dust with a harsh crackling sound. Kusai finds you physically suitable. Kusai would now ask, why do you seek training? To defend myself. Kusai finds no need for melee then. What do you mean? Kusai means to say that there are many ways to do these things. One may steal an opponent's weapon, leaving him defenseless. But the battle must still be fought. To rely on theft is a mistake. After a time, he nods. One may hide if one cannot be seen, one cannot be attacked, one is invulnerable. But no thief has mastered stealth to such a degree, and some foes can't be hidden from. Your scent or very thought will give you away. After a short wait, he nods. Mighty spells can smite many foes more quickly than any blade. Mages are like a flask of flaming oil, powerful. Once spent, nothing. They are physically deficient. Their spells merely crutches against his deficiency. When one's sorcery is spent, the core of combat still remains. He smiles slightly, making a deep rumbling sound in his throat. Kusai finds you fit to teach. Meet Kusai in the training chamber. I'll be there shortly.
Updated my journal.
So I think he must be a combat trainer, so
Done.
we don't really want that. But let's continue on. Still looking for people that might be interesting to talk to. So Kusai's probably in here, in one of these two, or in training. Yeah, there he's there, yeah. But we don't want to actually do that. Oh, we miss you. So, Keith in training. There's Eli. See, I'd like to get like Anna trained by him, and maybe Dakon trained by that guy.
Done.
Let's go into the mages. Mage in training. This person is carrying a sheaf of paper, unwound scrolls that occasionally pause to look through them and read portions of what's written aloud, practicing elaborate hand motions. As they do so, they look up as you come to stand before them. Greetings. Greetings, what is this place? This is where aspiring mages come to train and study. Many wizards took their first steps in the art of fledgling sorcery here. Where's the trainer? I do not know where Lady Torncombe has gone. I would suggest you try the sensoriums. She spends much of her time there. They lowered their voice, frowning. Perhaps too much. The sensoriums? Ask Splinters just inside the fest hall's entrance of them. You cannot reach them yourself, but he will take you there. Okay, so let's go there then. That's all I wish to know. Farewell. Let's keep going. Let's get all the way over there. Oh, you're missing. You're the one we need.
All right.
And you're the slowest. We'll have to wait for you to get over there. So I think we'll have this chat with Splinter. And then we'll end the video. Yeah, we're getting quite a collection of people now, aren't we? Pretty nice party. Splinters regards you coolly as ever as you approach. We welcome you once more to the Civic Feast Hall, traveller. How may I help you? I had some questions. Where's the one to ask about her? There was someone I was looking for here. Who was it you were seeking, traveller? Lady Torncombe, the mage's tutor. Splinter frowned slightly, narrowing his eyes. She will doubtless be found in one of the sensoriums. Lady Torncombe has been shirking her duties lately, spending far too much of her time with the sensory stones. You cannot reach that place yourself, but we might take you to one, if you would like. Yes, please, do. Okay, and then, so we're going to explore there next time, because we're out of time for this video. So I hope you're enjoying the series. If you are, maybe you'll think about popping a like down below and maybe a comment. But from myself, Bardon, the nameless one, Dakon, Anna, Mort, and Ignis, it's goodbye, and we really hope to see all of you next time. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, maybe you'll hit the subscribe button there on the right and check out some other videos here on the left.